what exactly is value stream all about, what is the significance of value stream, and how it enables the continuous delivery of business value. So welcome once again. This is your host Ashutosh Bhattodekar, welcoming you back to the happy hours of coaching session. Yeah, I think I need not tell you the history behind this session. Many of you already know it. Many of you are aware about it. Yeah, so without going into the history of this session, let us start with today's topic. And just wanted to quickly understand how many of you are aware about this term, value stream. It is a combination of two terms, value and stream. So how many of you are aware about this term, or how many of you know this term already? You can just put it in the chat window if you're aware about this term or if you have heard about it. I'll be more than happy to, of course, share some details around it. But if you're aware about it, that's okay. I mean, you can always attend. Yeah, I think I know. I see a lot of experts, by the way, in the audience. Nice to have you. I mean, more than happy to have you. But just wanted to let you know that this is something, a session which is more at a shoe level. Shoe hurry model which we have, so it will be more at a basic level, and then the intent is to basically cover some very important concept before I delve into some additional components. Okay, yeah, so we do have a few folks who are not aware of it. That's absolutely fine, and that's why we have this session for, right? I mean, if you're not aware of it, that's what my role will be, to tell you exactly what is value stream and where exactly value stream is being used. Before that, a quick small introduction about myself. Ashutosh Bhattodekar, based out of Pune, India. Currently having 21 years of experience in software project development. And I pride myself that, yes, I have also worked in the waterfall project. Not everything is bad about waterfall. I mean, we all say that, yeah, I mean, Agile is the in flavor. But I have worked in waterfall project. I have worked in traditional way of working. But last 12 years have been predominantly into the Agile coaching space. Started my journey into the Agile world as a Scrum Master, a Kanban facilitator, then moved up as a coach, as an enterprise Agile coach now, helping various clients in their journey. I think many of you are already aware about it, but just reiterating, I do have my own YouTube channel. So on the YouTube channel, you can see around 85 plus now. In fact, the count is 90 plus videos on various topics related to Agile. So feel free to connect on my YouTube channel. Also, there are other platforms on social media where I'm there, like we have a Telegram group. There's a meetup group which helps people actually in their journey. And of course, you can always connect with me on LinkedIn on a one-on-one personal connect. So we'll be very happy to connect with all of you. If you're not connected on LinkedIn, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. All right. So the next picture which I'm going to show you, okay, this is something which definitely people in India will be able to recognize. But if you're not from India, this would have been a situation also in your country. Though I believe that what picture I'm going to show was something which was in India for pretty long time. Okay, and especially I'm talking about the airports. I'm talking about the airports, what I'm going to talk about. And this is a picture which I'm going to start with an icebreaker session. So does anyone remember these pictures? Do you remember these pictures? And someone who would have traveled domestically knows this very well. And I had to almost face this every Friday. So I was, before COVID, I was in a consulting engagement. And today also I'm in a consulting engagement, but remotely now. I had to travel every Monday morning from Pune to the client location, be it Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Gurugram, right? Come back again on a Friday evening. And this is what I used to experience. I mean, especially 2013 to 15, 16. That is where I used to experience this. Yeah. So anyone remembers this? What is this picture? Anyone would like to add here? What exactly is this picture all about? I'm sure you would have seen this picture, especially people who have traveled in India. Anyone wants to speak, you can unmute yourself and speak also. Yeah, I'm giving you that right. You can unmute yourself and speak if you want to speak. If you don't want to write, does anyone remember what are these pictures all about? Some very strange pictures I have put in, right? And you might be wondering what exactly I'm covering here.
Yeah.
These were luggage tags.
Luggage tags. Yes.
Yeah.
Luggage tags. I think all of us would have traveled in flights in India, and this was the prevalent scenario, right? So what you had to do is this was a luggage tag for a handbag, if you remember. Right. So if I'm carrying a handbag with me like this, okay, like a pouch or a handbag like this, I had to attach a tag to it. I had to put it through the X-ray scanner machine in India. The security guard at the other side used to stamp it, and then I used to go and board the flight. And you know what? Once I lost this tag in the concourse area. So after I had cleared the security area, and then I had my lunch or dinner at the airport restaurant. And yeah, I mean, the flight, there was a substantial time for the flight to come. Flight to depart, sorry. I had a 2 hour layover at that airport. I remember very vividly. I think I think Hyderabad airport, if I remember correctly. Rajiv Gandhi International Airport, Hyderabad. So Pune, Hyderabad, Chennai. That was the connecting flight which I got actually. I could not get a direct Pune Chennai flight. Anyways, so what had happened was I lost this tag. So what happened was the security person was not allowing me to enter into the aircraft. He said, no, your bag is not security checked. Please go back and again check it. So I had to run back again to the security hold area, get it stamped again, request the security guard to please give me a priority, and then get it stamped and quickly manage to board the flight in the nick of time. Today, this system is not there in India. Does it mean that our security, there is no threat? No, right? I mean, there's still a threat perception, right? There's still a threat perception. Airlines are still having that very high threat perception. But this process has been eliminated now. You don't have this process now, okay? And I'm talking about 2016 onwards, they stopped these processes in major airports in India. Bangalore, Delhi, Chennai, I for sure know that they stopped this procedure across major, and Mumbai also for that matter. So they have stopped this procedure. So what happened? What happened according to you? I mean, why did they stop it? Because I mean, I don't think that the security situation has improved, or basically that there is no threat now. In fact, the threat has increased now. So what happened? Any idea what happened? I mean, why did they suddenly stop this process? Anyone would like to? Yeah, go ahead.
When it is already going through all these scans, why do we need a separate label for that? So it is like it is like a waste of time, waste of
time. Exactly. So this was actually giving a false sense of security. This was actually giving a false sense of security. I mean, I would rather use that security person for doing something productive, right? We are converting a security guard into a clerk. We are actually converting the job of a security person whose job is to detect any intrusion into the airport, whose job is to detect anything which is harmful to the passenger, be it, let us say, a revolver or a gun or a bomb, explosives inside the bag. We are making his role, we are demoting it. We are actually not using his intellect properly. Yeah. And even that day I wondered, I mean, the day when I was troubled because of this, okay, I was also troubled. I mean, come on. I mean, I've just lost this tag. I told them that, can I have the tag here? You check it here. They said, no, you'll have to go back. They were strictly following the orders, right? Yeah. I mean, something very interesting, right? I mean, I used to always think, I mean, what is the value add we are doing in this process? What is the value add? I mean, it is giving a false sense of security. And like me, there were many other passengers who used to lose this. So after that, I closely started observing. At least there was one passenger in the flight I was traveling who used to misplace this tag. Either the tag was loose, or it used to get lost when people were having food. I mean, those were the, or it used to get damaged also. Even if that stamp is not clear, they used to send it back, saying that this might be an old tag which could be there, right? So get that date stamp on it, right? Exactly. So that was basically, was it a value add activity? In all probability, no. They would have realized that this is not a value added activity. And this practice was also prevalent in US airports, but it was way back in 90s, I think. And they removed it in, I think, late 90s. They removed it, if I'm not mistaken. Just before 9/11, they had removed this practice. But it doesn't mean that the attack would have been prevented, right? I mean, they realized that it is not a value-added activity. It is not a value-added process. So yes, that is what, that is how I'm trying to connect this example with today's topic, where basically I'm going to talk about what exactly is value stream all about and why we should be using the value stream in our journey, right? So that is what I'll be talking about in today's session. All right. Yeah. So let us understand this. So what is the value stream all about? Value stream, to put it in a very simplistic and layman's term, is the day you get an idea till the day you realize it, till the day you encash that idea. Now, do not consider encashing means only dollar value. There are many parameters to that encashing piece. What is there? So the day I decided to write a book, and the day my book actually got published, that is a value stream. That is the entire journey, this entire flow of activities from the conceptualization to the realization is what is a value stream. This originated in the manufacturing industry. So if you go back in history, if you go back in 40s is where this concept originated, that what are the different stages through which my goods and services are going to be produced, and can I improve the process? Can I look at each of the steps in the process and can I improve the process? So initially, obviously, you will have to understand what is the current as is process. And then you will have to identify what exactly are the deficiencies in the process. Are there anything which is adding waste? Is there anything contributing to the waste in the entire process? Either you eliminate the waste completely, like in that baggage tagging example, or you reduce the waste. Right, there are also techniques of reducing the waste, right? So either you eliminate it completely or reduce the waste. I'll give you another example, and again an Indian example to set the context right. Passport seva kendra in India. I'm sure you would have visited a passport, you would have gone to visit a passport office around 10-15 years back. I myself remember I had to spend an entire day till my work was not done, and I had to take again a holiday next day to submit some of the documents. I went before pandemic to renew my passport. I was pleasantly surprised. Within 45 minutes, I was out of the office. And even from office, before even I reached my parking lot of my car, I got a SMS that my passport has been sent for printing. Imagine this is a e-governance project in India, which they have applied these techniques, right? They have tried to identify what are the bottlenecks, what are the process steps, can we make the process steps more efficient, can we remove any bottlenecks, can we remove any redundancies in the process, and try to basically improve it, right? So remember one thing, at the heart of this is your customer. The customer is at the heart of this. So a value stream is something which always originates from the customer, from the pain points or the feedback given by the customer, and it also ends at a customer side. Okay, so that is where the value stream is going to start and end at, right? So, and in between, there are different stages through which the customer and the interfaces interact with each other. Like even in the case of a passport, you will see this. This even applies to a product industry. This also applies to a service industry. For example, you want to get a credit card or your debit card issued quickly from a bank. There are a series of steps you will go through the bank, right? How we can optimize those steps, right? I remember my father used to tell me that to create a bank account in his time, it took him almost 15 days. Imagine 15 days to create a bank account, right? To save your own hard-earned money. When these private banks came, it was done within 3 hours. Right. And even when I went to a government bank for a home loan around 3 years back, I went for a government bank for a home loan. This process was pretty much streamlined. I mean, it was not 15 days they took. They actually sanctioned my loan within 3 to 4 working days is what they did. Right. So this is the value stream. Now, this is something which is applicable everywhere. It is applicable even if you're making a dish. Let's say you're making a lunch or a dinner for your family, or you are writing a book, or you're trying to improve a business process. Value stream is something which is one of the very, very vital tools which is required, right? So that's one of the key items of value stream, what we have here. All right, let us move ahead. Yeah, so some historical context. Toyota was the company which started pioneering it, though Toyota is not an inventor of value stream. So many of us have got a misconception that Toyota is the inventor of this. The inventor of this is actually in 1918 book called Installing Efficiency Method by Charles Knoppel. So this person is the one who actually first talked about the concept of a value stream. Of course, this photograph is of Taiichi Ono, the person who brought it in Toyota production system. How to streamline the process? How can I quickly produce more cars in a unit of time? Right. Remember one thing, that Japan had just emerged out of the war, the Second World War, and they had to really bring back their economy on track. And there were a lot of these ideas and innovations which were being talked about in those days, be it Kaizen, change for the betterment, zero inventory, just in time, or for that matter, what we say as this value stream mapping or value stream is. So those were some of the techniques which they were always trying to implement, right? To put it, as I said, to put it in a simple words, concept to cash. Concept to cash is the definition of value stream, and cash does not mean dollar value. So I'll give you my example. This happy hours of coaching I try to do every Friday. So when this idea came to me in pandemic, it took me 2 weeks for me to execute this. So our first session was launched within 2 weeks. That is the value stream. I could have done it in 2 days also. I could have done it in 3 weeks also. But my concept to cash, I'm not earning any money out of it, right? I have not charged you anything for this program, but still it is a concept to cash. How many people I have been able to attract, right? That is the measure. How many people liked this topic? How many people did not like this topic? That is a concept to cash. Cash need not always be in dollar terms. Okay, that's again a mistake we make. Cash can also be in terms of operational efficiency, because we implemented, like the Passport Seva Kendra example I gave, from 2 days or from 2 months to receive a passport to, let's say, 1 week. That is the value what you are giving. That is the value. That is the concept to cash from a government of India perspective, that how many passports they are able to deliver within a shorter period of time or within a unit of time. That's the value stream what we are talking about. All right, moving ahead, let us further try to understand. So let us define value. And I think some part of it I have already defined, that value is not always equal to money. It is not only the dollar value, though dollar value is also there. It is not always equal to dollar, or it is not only equal to cash, which is there. There are different elements of value. Okay, for example, if you look at this picture, what can you think about this person? What is he or she thinking? What is this person thinking? Can anyone tell me here? Let's assume that this is a product what you have delivered. This is a product you are trying to build. So, and this is the customer. Yeah, it is written there, customer. This is what you have designed as a product. So what do you think is this person thinking? Any thoughts? Anyone would like to add here?
She's
thinking about a convertible, not a bug. An open roof vehicle, not a closed roof vehicle. That's what she's thinking about.
Exactly. So more than money, money for her, the value is an open sunroof. Probably she wants to drive down in the sunny areas, right? I mean, on a weekend, she would like to casually take this and drive down the car. And if you deliver this product, you're not meeting the value. However good your product might be, however good the fuel efficiency of this product might be, however attractive this product might be, you have not designed it in line with the customer, right? So the value here is not clearly the dollar value or the mileage. The value is on the aesthetics. The value is on the design. The value is on the functionality, what our customer is looking at here, right? So that's the value equation, what she is looking here, right? So value, as I said, is more expensive than price. Price, yes, money you can always earn, right? Today you lose some money, you can always earn that money. But value, once you lose in the market, remember there's a reputational loss which comes with it. I deliver a poor quality product in the market. One bad customer review is going to spoil my entire value equation, right? It is going to entirely eliminate at least minimum of 500 customers. One bad review, if you have about the product, you would have lost 500 customers. So it is more expensive than price, right? So many of us think that value means price. No, it is not just price. There are also some hidden, I would say, elements to value. Like one is price, one is reputational risk, one is the quality, whether I'm known for a quality or not. Ethics is also value, right? I mean, whatever I do, I will not do an unethical job. There are many companies which live by that value, right? I mean, they say that, yes, come what may be, how much so where is the pressure, we will not compromise on ethics, right? Even if we lose the business, that is absolutely fine. So for them, the value is on the higher side on that. Okay, the value is on higher side for them more than the price. Okay, one quick thing before I move ahead. Those of you are okay, you can switch on the camera. That's absolutely fine. Feel free to switch on your camera so that we can see each other. I always believe that video conversation makes it a better way to interact with each other. Yeah, so feel free to switch camera. Again, it is not mandatory, but if you are okay, do switch the camera so that we can see each other. All right, moving ahead. Yeah, so this is how we are going to we define the value, or this is what is the definition of a value, what we call it. All right, moving ahead. Now there's a very interesting tool. Okay, and this tool is called as elements of value pyramid. Now this is mapped exactly to the Maslow's hierarchy of need. If you remember Maslow's hierarchy of need, yeah, it's a project management concept. It's a PMP concept. It talks about the various needs a human being has, right? Physiological need, then safety need, then security needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. So this model actually talks about the value pyramid. What exactly does a consumer or people like you and me look in a product? So at the bare minimum are the functional value what we look. For example, if I buy a laptop, it should work. If I buy a car, it should run, right? It should start on the first ignition, right? It should actually do an automatic transmission. So those are at a very low level basic needs of the product. For example, if I buy a pen, it has to write. It should not happen that the pen, I'm not able to scribble through the pen. That is the functional level which is there. Then we have something emotional level connect. For example, I'll give my example. I had a laptop and it was working absolutely fine. But I realized that, yes, over a period of time, I have to change it. But I was so emotionally attached to that laptop that I was reluctant to change it. And I was looking for a similar laptop. Can I get something similar? Can I get something which actually helps me, right? And so emotional angle could be that the product is generally having a nostalgia feeling. So I was having a nostalgia angle in that. Okay, no, this is one of the good laptops. This has been very lucky for me. I got a lot of engagements because of this, right? So, and whenever I carry, it used to give a good impression. Also, I did a lot of good presentations with this. So that's the emotional angle. But then there are other elements to the emotional value also, like wellness, feel good factor. You feel good, right? You feel like it's your lucky charm. You might call me superstitious, but that's what we feel. And I think many of us would be feeling it, that this is my lucky charm. Let me not change it, right? It has a therapeutic value, right? Like a book, like a Kindle, right? I mean, I bought a Kindle. Whenever I get bored, I start reading it. It has got a therapeutic value. It is more than, yes, I mean, something to go back to and read something, right? So that's the emotional angle of a product value which we have. Life-changing value, I would say COVID vaccine. Okay, the day I had it, yeah, it helps me. It provides me some hope. It gives me some kind of a stabilization. My mind is now stable, right? I'm not thinking what happens if COVID happens to me, right? So that is more like a stable mind. It motivates me. Also, I read reports that, you know what, people who have taken COVID vaccine, even if they get COVID, it will be a mild symptom and they will be cured, right? They will be cured over a period of time. So that is a life-changing aspect of the value pyramid which is there. Okay, and then we have the social impact. Social impact is on the top, just like we have self transcendence, right? So this product actually defines who you are, right? It could be my house where I'm staying for 20 years. Right, I've managed to stand. It has created an iconic value, right? Or it has created something very, very iconic here. So these are the elements of value pyramid. This is a very interesting tool. It was first developed in September 2016 by this organization, Bain and Company. So giving them a credit for such a wonderful tool. And it was published in Harvard Business Review in that year, right? If you look at this is the value pyramid. So again, come out of that mindset that value is only related to dollar value. Right? You can build a product which gives a higher customer satisfaction, which is going to give you a value. So money is just one element of the value equation. Sometimes it is important, I agree, but not always. Okay, sometimes it is definitely required for a product, but not always. All right, moving ahead, let us further try to move ahead and understand this in detail. And then now coming to some technical aspects of value stream. So we were defining what exactly is a value all about. So lean principles or lean way of working is the birthplace where the value stream actually originated. And lean is a production system. It's a production system which basically looks at two things, that either you should be creating value added activities. So basically in any production process, if you look, there are value added activities, there are non-value added activities, and non-value added activities are called as waste, right? So waste is something which is coming in the way of realizing your value. So lean production system, first of all, talks about identifying in any business process, when we do an as-is analysis, what is a value-add activity and what is a non-value-add activity, and it strives to eliminate the non-value-added work and enhance the value-added work. So in that ratio, if your value-added work is 60 and your non-value-added is 40, your efficiency is only 60%, 60 divided by 100. So lean tries to enhance the value-added activity and reduce the non-value-added activity. Now, what are wastes? So lean defines waste. Initially, there were 7 wastes in production, right? The 8th waste got added later on. Overproduction. You produce something in extra. which there is no demand in the market, right? So I produce 100 cars when the daily demand is only 20 cars are getting sold. So that is overproduction. Excessive transportation. It takes a lot of time for you to transport raw materials within the factory or within your office and outside your factory also. Okay, it takes a lot of time, I would say, or the way your plant has been designed is in an inefficient manner. And many times we see in our offices also, right? The way our layouts are designed, one person is sitting on this side, another person on the other side, and the communication, it takes a lot of time, right? So any non-essential transport is a waste. Excessive inventory. You pile up inventory in your office or in your manufacturing unit, and there's an inventory holding cost. Remember, when you pile up inventory, you have incurred a cost in buying that material. So there's always going to be an inventory holding cost. So you have blocking your capital into that inventory, right? Excessive waiting time. So your car assembly has been mounted, but you're waiting for the next person to pick it up on the shop floor, right? Or your development is complete, but your testers are not yet ready. The test environment is still not ready, and they're waiting, they're configuring it. So as a result, there's a waiting time between the developers and the testers. Extra processing. Unnecessarily, we are adding the process steps when it is not there. Redundancies, too much of redundancies. The same thing is being done again and again. So that is extra processing. Maybe repainting the car, painting the car twice. Just you thought that, yeah, a second coat will give a better luster when it is not needed in first place. Rework. So there's a defect which has occurred, because of which there's a rework, right? So there's a rework which we have because of the defect. And excessive motion. Okay, too much of movement, right? And by the way, this kind of an analysis was also done in one of the hospitals, where they found, I mean, I'm not talking about that Munna Bhai MBBS joke where he said that, do we have to really fill a form for an emergency entry? But in one of the hospitals in Pune, they found that the time a patient enters till the time he or she gets a bed, there was a lead time of almost 3 hours. Imagine, for a hospital, it takes 3 hours to get a bed. Okay, which is where they did this exercise and they reduced it. They said that no, we have to make sure that the patient, and especially if it is a critical care patient, he or she should be in a bed in a maximum 15 to 20 minutes. So as I'm saying, it can be applied to any industry. It can be applied to any piece of work. You can also try to apply it in your home, as I said earlier. So these were the original 7 ways. Okay, these were the original 7 ways which were there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. The 8th waste got added later. This is the 8th waste, which is intellect, which is what was happening in Indian airports, right? That security person was just stamping. He had an aptitude for, he was actually a part of a bomb detection squad, he or she, but he or she was being used in a task which was not in line with his or her capability. I'm sure we would have experienced this, right? We would have experienced this happening in our projects, in our engagements, where we actually saw this happening, right? I mean, a person is skilled in one area, but we are not utilizing that person to his or her fullest potential. So that is an intellect what we have. That is an intellect or lack of using the intellect. Yeah, so those are the 8 ways. So you have to identify the non-value added activity. And I'm not going into the details of this. In this diagram, if you see, the green color boxes are value added activity. The red color boxes are waste or non-value added activities what we have. One important metric we cover as a part of value stream mapping is process cycle efficiency, which I already told. So in this case, I'm not going again into the details of mathematical calculation, but the process cycle efficiency is 15%, which is very low, which is absolutely low, as you can see. I mean, you have to improve this. So you have to reduce those red color boxes. You have to shrink or either completely eliminate those red color boxes which are there. That 60-40 rule, which I told you, right? If I have 60% of the activities as value add and 40% as non-value add out of 100, so 60 divided by 100 is my process cycle efficiency, or and how do I reduce it, right? So even in your current engagements, try to identify those red color blocks. Those red color lines are the dangerous lines. There are tools available which I will talk about. How do you identify it, or what could be the tools by which we can go ahead and identify these red color big pillars which are there, and how do we shrink those red color pillars? So definitely there are tools available around it. But what I'm trying to tell is those green color items are the ones which are important, which you have to expand. and we have to eliminate the red color items. Okay, moving ahead. So what are the tools for doing this? What are the tools? Any idea what could be the tools for doing this, or how do we identify the waste in the business process? Anyone? Tools for doing it? Yeah, I know people are there on LinkedIn. They're also answering. So thanks. Unfortunately, I'm not able to see your comments, but don't worry. I will have a look at it and reply to you individually. Okay, I'm sure you would have heard about these tools. Have you heard about this Gemba Walk? Gemba Walk is one tool, Gemba Walk. Okay, so it's a Japanese term. Gemba Walk is basically a tool where you actually go to the place where the problem is occurring and you check what is the problem. What exactly is the problem? So that is a Gemba Walk, what we have. Then, of course, we have the 5 why technique. All right, the root cause analysis technique, the very famous technique. You ask the question why 5 times and you hit the answer. So that is a 5 why analysis technique, what we have. And then, of course, we have the very famous fishbone diagram or Ishikawa diagram. Now, these are not the only 3 tools. I have just tried to list down 3 important tools. Okay, there are many such tools. There are many such tools which are available, but I've just listed some of the 3 very important tools which are used. A fishbone diagram, Gemba walk, and 5 why. You can also use a Pareto chart. You can also use a control chart. Those also are the additional tools which are available. So, but most popularly ones are these. So whenever a business consultant goes for a business process re-engineering engagement, he or she will actually use these tools. The first journey is, of course, to plot the as-is process. Get the matrix around these, I would say these wastage points, what we call, or these red color blocks, and then identify the current process cycle efficiency and try to bring about improvement steps, right? Try to have those quick wins. Obviously, the first step will be to capture some low-hanging fruits and then move towards attacking the bigger rocks or the bigger pillars and trying to collapse them. Yeah, and these are some of the tools which are being used from a value stream mapping perspective. Yeah, any questions anyone has? Sorry. All right, let us move ahead. Yeah, let us move ahead. Yeah, now a very interesting study has been done by 2 people, Mary and Tom Popendick. They also have a book on this. The 7 wastes in software development. So just like we have 7 wastes in manufacturing, they have also come out with 8th waste. I mean, the 8th waste is intellect, which was already there in software. So they have come out with 7 + 1, 8 wastes in software development. And what are those 7 wastes? The first waste is partially done work. Many times we say that, right? My sprint is complete, but I have not done testing. Development done, but testing not done. Or you know what? I have done testing, but there are 2 defects. So can I come in the demo, please? Can I come in the sprint review? No, it is a partially done work. It's a waste. It is a waste. No point in demoing it to the product owner, right? It is not going to add any value. All right. I mean, why do you deliver? Why do you demonstrate something when it is not meeting the definition of done criteria? So that is the first waste what we have in software development, partially done work. The second waste is extra features, gold plating. There's a very nice word for this, gold plating. I'm sure many of you would have heard about it. So gold plating is doing extra work when it is not required, right? So ending up doing something extra when the customer did not even ask for it, or the customer was not even looking for that work. So that comes in as a part of gold plating, what we call it, right? And many of us, including I, have been a victim of this, in the sense that I have ended up doing gold plating when it was not required to be done, right? When it was not at all necessary, I ended up doing gold plating in my project, right? So doing extra work. By the way, gold plating doesn't mean that you don't do customer delight. Okay, you don't do customer delight is what is very, very important. Okay, so customer delight is definitely important, but gold plating is something which we should strictly avoid. Okay, gold plating is something which we should strictly avoid, and we should make sure that we are not gold plating anything, right? I mean, doing extra features when it is not needed. Okay, the third one is relearning. Time spent in relearning. Okay, so we are relearning the things again, right? I learned something, let's say 1 year back, and now I'm relearning it back again. So that is again a waste. That is again a waste what we have, time spent in relearning. Then number 4 is what we have. Number 4, so relearning, as I said, you are basically relearning the things again. Okay, so that is relearning, what we call it. And then we have handoffs. Too many handoffs, dev to testing, testing to dev, right? And then testing to, let's say, BAs. Too many handoffs which are there, which is killing the entire process, right? So you write an email. As a developer, I write an email to testing team, please start testing. And the next day morning till 12 o'clock, there's been no testing done. And then we come to know that the testing team has not even read the email, right? So too many handoffs, or there's no proper communication between dev test or dev sec and operations team. Hardly any communication which is happening between the teams. That is the 4th waste. That is the number 4th waste what we have in this entire process, which is there. Okay, delays in approval, delays in rolling out the feature into the production environment. So that comes in as a part of delay, right? Unnecessarily waiting time or a delay in the entire process. And then the 6th weight is context switching or task switching. So I'm doing something and suddenly I go into a different screen and I open something else. Right. So I'm not focused on one task. I'm multitasking myself. I try to multitask, but it actually reduces efficiency, or it brings about inefficiency in the process. And last, but definitely not the least, the 7th waste in lean software development is defects. Right? Lack of built-in quality. We always encourage our teams to have built-in quality practices, right? We are trying to prevent the problem or prevent the injection of a defect into the process. So we invest in training, we invest in providing the right set of tools, right set of equipments, all those things we invest. This is just to make sure that the cost of conformance, right? Cost of conformance we are incurring so that the defect does not incur. Remember, quality is cost of conformance plus cost of non-conformance. I'm talking about the cost of conformance piece, where we are investing in training, where we are investing in coaching, where we are investing in having a mentor to the team so that they do it in a right way. But in spite of that, the defect comes into the system. So that is the 7th waste. And of course, the 8th waste of lean is also applicable in the software world, which is intellect, or not using the intellect properly, right? So I have an expertise in architecture, but I've been put into a development project where I'm just doing coding, but my aptitude is architecture, right? Or I have an aptitude for, let us say, automation testing, but I have been given a very mundane task. I'm not being utilized up to my full intellectual capacity. So that's a lack of intellect which is there. That continues to be the 8th waste of lean software development. Yeah. So what I wanted to summarize this talk was that as a change agent, as a transformation agent, right, we always need to understand that these techniques, when we go in for any transformation engagement, try to use these techniques, find out where exactly is the bottleneck, why things are not moving ahead, what are the top 5 or 6 pain areas which our client or customer is facing. Try to come out with a low-hanging fruit kind of a thing that, okay, these are the low-hanging fruit problems which I can attack immediately. And let me work on those problems on a priority. Get the confidence of your customer that, yes, you have really improved the process, albeit at a very, very small level or at a small area. And then try to eat the bigger fish, right? Or then try to grab a bigger slice of that meat, right? So don't directly try to jump and take that and fill your plate with all the food items, right? Just take a small element, chew it, understand how it tastes, and then try to pick up the other items, right? So similarly here also, try to do a kind of an analysis, right? Where exactly is the problem? Which is the area which is facing the maximum problem? Is there any low-hanging fruit or an opportunity which I can use to rectify the problem immediately? I pick up that, I implement it, and then so it never a big bang approach will work. Okay, in any transformation, a big bang approach will give you very poor results. You'll have to go in from a piecemeal approach, an incremental approach, try to solve smaller problems on a day-by-day basis, and then try to improve it. Okay, so one more tip I would like to give here. Okay, and this is also something which I learned, and it is something which applies the lean management principle. Okay, and then I will open the floor for question and answers. And I think this I've told in an earlier session also. So earlier what used to happen is when I was a coach and a change agent, right? And I was very enthusiastic. Yeah, this is a new engagement. I will bring in this transformation. I will bring in that transformation, right? This is a good role which I've got. I have to work with the middle management. I have to work with the senior management. I have to work with the team, right? The team which is developing the product. So what I used to do is in all happiness, in all excitement, I used to set up a meeting with these people, right? And they used to never turn up. These people used to never turn up. Every time they used to give an excuse, some XYZ excuse. No, we have this important production deployment. And you'll find this person after half an hour having tea and coffee, or having or be at the water cooler having his or her water cooler moment. Okay. Or you know what? No, I have to rush home today. There's an emergency at home. Or you know what? Let's do it tomorrow. No, or let's do it too. If it's already Friday. No, it's weekend. Let's do it on Monday. And then Monday again you set up a meeting. This person says no, let's do it on Thursday. Okay, so this person is always pushing, right? And this is what I experienced. So I was wondering what's wrong I'm doing. What is the fundamental mistake I'm doing? Why don't people don't want to talk to me, apart from the fact that they consider me as a cop? But why are people reluctant? And then I realized the problem. So you know what? I used to keep meeting for 1 hour, and then people used to reluctantly reject it. What I did was I started keeping meeting for 20 minutes. 20 minutes meeting. So schedule only a 20 minutes meeting. Tell them I just need 15 minutes, but I've kept 5 minutes as a buffer. Believe me, people will start coming for your meeting. Okay. And then the conversation opened up. So that's also a waste identification in a way. In a way, it's a waste identification, which I did. I found out that no one is interested to talk with me for 1 hour. Okay. And so one rule I made, and one rule I always tell my even coaches, is that never have a meeting, schedule a meeting beyond 30 minutes, especially if you are in a transformation project. No one will come. No one will come. Try to have a meeting of maximum 30 minutes. You can have multiple such meetings. So there also you have to follow an iterative and an incremental approach. You can have 3 to 4 meetings in a week, 30 minutes or 20 minutes. But instead of having one meeting of 1 hour or 1.5 hours, right? People won't be interested. So even when the Agile talks they were introducing in one of my earlier organizations, they were asking me to do a talk for 2 hours. I said, come on, 2 hours, people will be really bored seeing me in a conference room, right? In an audience setting. Even if there are 100 people, after 40 minutes, they'll start going out and start having water and coffee. And that's why even if you look at the TED Talk format, that is a 30-minute format precisely for that. In 30 minutes, the speaker has to complete his or her talk, right? I'm trying to achieve that perfection. I have not yet achieved it, especially in a talk like this. But what I'm trying to tell is leaner the better. But definitely something which I have applied in my workplace, reducing the meeting request from 1 hour to 20 minutes, and then telling the stakeholder, actually, I need just 15 minutes of yours, but I've kept 5 minutes for buffer. Believe me, the percentage of acceptance will improve a lot. All right. So on that note, I close my talk here and I open the floor for any questions anyone has. Those of you who are on LinkedIn Live, Twitter, and on, I think it is also on YouTube. It is being feeded on YouTube also live as we speak, and also on Facebook. Please type in your questions. I will answer your questions once this session gets over. But for the privileged people who are on the Zoom platform, the floor is yours. We will have a 10 minutes Q&A just in case anyone has any questions. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and ask questions.
Yeah, Ashutosh, I do have a doubt. Balaji here. Somewhere you are actually bringing that particular example of gold plating versus customer delight, right? So can you give one example to tell, okay, this is gold plating, however, this is a customer delight? Thanks.
Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, this is one of my favorite example. It's a gents example, and I have to slightly build a story for it. Okay, I have to slightly build a story for it, and this is what I give an example of gold plating versus customer delight. Okay, so let us say I have a piece of cloth. Okay, and I go to my tailor and I tell him that I need a half sleeve shirt stitched for me. Okay, so this is what I tell to the tailor, and the tailor says, okay, come by next Friday. So you'll get the shirt delivered by next Friday. I tell the tailor, no, I need it by Tuesday because I have a meeting on Thursday. So at least I need to keep 1 day buffer. I have a meeting on Thursday. So can you give it to me by Tuesday? The tailor refuses and we end into a negotiation like what happens in our project estimate. So to cut the long story short, the tailor agrees to give me the shirt on a Wednesday. Okay, that's the end of that transaction. Now, when the tailor is crafting the half sleeve shirt, he realizes that in the same cloth, he can actually stitch a full sleeve shirt. Okay, so I'm putting the scenario on a notepad. So the scenario one which comes to the mind of the tailor is, and I would put 3 scenarios on this notepad. then you react. Okay, do not jump to the conclusion. So scenario 1 is tailor decides to stitch. So please forgive my spelling. Okay, yeah, stitch a full sleeve shirt, thinking that I will be happy. Okay, thinking that I will be happy. Scenario 2 is the tailor decides to stitch a half sleeve shirt. Okay, so whatever is my requirement, half sleeve shirt, and he finds that the cloth is extra. So from the remaining cloth, he decides to create a scarf and gift to me as a bonus. This is what the tailor decides in scenario 2. Okay, there's a scenario 3 also. The tailor decides to stitch a half sleeve shirt. From the remaining cloth, he decides to reinforce the collar and give me a guarantee that the shirt collar will not damage even after 1000 washes. Now, in this scenario, is scenario 1 gold plating? What do you think? This is an open question, not just for Balaji. Is scenario 1 gold plating?
Yes.
Sure, gold plating, scenario 1. No.
Yes.
That is not meeting your requirement. That is not meeting your requirement. My requirement was a half sleeve shirt. Scenario 1 is I can sue the teller for scope creep. This is entirely an example of a scope creep. That is not gold plating. Scenario 2.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So now scope creep is something which should come from the customer itself. In the middle of when the tailor is stitching, in the somewhere in the middle, the customer will come back. He says, no, I don't want an half sleeve. I want a full sleeve. So my understanding is that, I'm sorry if I'm wrong. Please correct me.
No, scope creep can come from the client also. Many times we have experienced this happening.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Client and customer are the same here. So, and gold plating is something from the work doer, like the developer or else the person who is doing the work.
That's what I'm saying. This can reverse. This can reverse. Like in this example, it has reversed. The tailor is applying his or her own mind.
That is
so
gold
the tailor
plating.
is applying. No, he's thinking that this is not gold plating. Gold plating is not this. Gold plating is doing extra work. The definition of gold plating, if you go by PMI, I'm going by PMI definition. Okay. So I'm going by PMI definition, doing extra work when not needed. This is wrong interpretation of requirement by the development team. Many times we'll end up into that situation, right? The product owner is not available or the business is not available. We interpreted the requirement in a different way and we developed a product and the customer said, I never wanted this.
But it is to make customer happy, not make unhappy, because customer demanded half sleeve shirt and they are offering full sleeve shirt.
So customer won't be happy. No, why would the customer be happy? My requirement was a half sleeve shirt. You should deliver as per my requirement, right?
But in Chennai, customer is feeling heat, so he needs half sleeve shirt.
So you should confirm with the customer, right? He cannot take a decision on his own. It is like saying that on the ICS, on the banking website, I decided to introduce something which was which I thought that the customer will like, but it was not required by the customer. Anyways, let us move to scenario 2. What is scenario 2?
That
is it customer delight or is it gold plating?
That is gold plating.
Customer delight.
Kind of gift
Delight.
No, scenario 2 is gold plating. That is what I'm saying. Scenario 2 is gold plating. Who asked me to create a scarf? I wanted the shirt on Tuesday. You're giving me on a Wednesday. And you're giving me 2 features on a Wednesday when all my requirement was that I needed the product on Tuesday evening. Right? Scenario 2 is gold plating. Scenario 3 is customer delight.
But some customers will be happy, isn't it, in scenario 2? Because of I ask them to give me half sleeve shirt and I'm getting some gifts are always welcome. Even some flowers.
No, that is what we think. I mean, even I think that way, but that's not correct. That is not gold. That is not customer delight. That is pure gold plating because I wanted a half sleeve shirt on a particular day. Don't get too much enamored by that freebies and all. Okay, I mean, I know we all get very happy when we see freebies. I'm getting something free on a product, but try to understand this.
Customers will be used to of these gold plating. That's what PMI is rejecting.
No, let's not get into PMI. Wait, hold on. hold on, let's not get into whether PMI is right or not. I'm just explaining what is gold plating, from a PMI point of view. So from remaining cloth, if he or she decides to create a scarf and gifts me as a bonus, that is clearly a gold plating. I had never asked for it in first place. But scenario 3, don't you think is customer delight? I'm using that extra cloth to reinforce the collar, and the collar will last for 1,000 washes. That is a guarantee I'm giving. I'm getting a repeat business from this customer. Think from a value perspective. Do not think from a short-term perspective.
May I interrupt? Customer is more experienced, and he's giving his opinion or his decisions that in the past we have delivered like this. It will help you.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Sir, sorry, one thing. I'm sorry for interrupting, sir. My understanding is a little bit different. Yeah. So in this case, so without telling the customer, the tailor has made it a short collar. So if
not
I am
as a no, wait. Hold on. Where is it saying it is a short collar? He's reinforcing the collar.
No.
Where is it saying that it's a short collar?
And guarantee that the short collar will not damage.
No, that's a spelling mistake. Shirt collar.
That's a typo, sir. That's a typo. I already apologized for it. There might be a typo.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't see this.
Yeah, it's a shirt collar only. It's not a short collar. It's not a defective piece.
Yeah. Like,
it's not a defective piece.
Put it as a scenario 3. Put it as scenario 3. It still shows.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, so you'll have to apologize now for this typo, because I'm very bad in typing on Notepad. But yeah, I had to do it here just to bring it about quickly. Yeah, scenario 3 is gold. Scenario 3 is customer delight. Scenario 2 is gold plating, and scenario 1, of course, yeah, we can debate. I mean, I agree that there could be some hidden, or there could be a boundary line between gold plating and not meeting the requirements, or in a zeal to impress the customer, the tailor is trying to stitch a full sleeve shirt.
Yes, totally agree with you.
Again, I don't want to get into gold plating too much, because that is a traditional, I mean, that is coming from PMI. Definitely PMI has got its own thought process behind it. But if you go by the literature around it, this is what they mean by gold plating. And this is the nearest example which I could come out with as a part of this difference between gold plating and, of course, this is customer delight. Let me write here. So this is customer delight, what we have. Yeah, any other question in the interest of time? And of course, you can connect with me later also. I mean, we can debate on it till the cows come back home. I'm more than happy to have a healthy debate on this. And I respect all of your opinion. There's nothing, I mean, each of us has got a different thoughts, a different opinion, which is okay, absolutely fine. Yeah, but any other question anyone has?
Thank you for this. My question is on, can we have access to the PowerPoint presentation?
So normally we do not share the presentation, but you can subscribe to our YouTube channel where it will be there. Okay, so you can go on this YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel. You can click on the subscribe link, and the entire recording will be available there.
Thank you.
Okay. Ashutosh, one more query. Like you said, sure. When people were not attending, you have shrink the meeting timing from 1 hour to 20 minutes. So initially, if you were doing it for 1 hour, there might be some or the other reasons, because the crowd might be more in that particular meeting. The audience count might be more. So how did you manage? Like, did you face any challenges after scheduling for 20 minutes? And if the conversation was going on, did you face any real-time scenarios, like how to deal with that? Can you share, please?
Okay, so the example I gave was a one-on-one meeting. Okay, I'm not saying that your sprint planning meeting and all those have to be curtailed to 20 minutes. Okay, sorry if I gave that impression. See, when you go in as an agile coach in a transformation, right, you have to interact with leaders. So let's say, I think it was Mahesh, you have asked me that question, right? Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Mahesh, let's assume that you are a senior leader in that transformation. I have to set up a meeting with you. So I need a one-on-one meeting with you, Mahesh. Okay. So when I realize that, okay, you're not coming to me for that 1 hour meeting, then I curtail it. I'm not saying that sprint planning meeting or a sprint review or a retrospective retrospective has to be curtailed. That definitely will take that time. But yes, one of the challenges which I faced definitely was and I'm sure many of us face this challenge on a need basis, on a day-by-day basis, when we go into a new engagement, that you know what, there were 20 people Scrum team. Can you imagine that? 21 people in a Scrum team which was there, and they were calling it as a Scrum team, which was following all the Scrum values and Scrum, I would say, I mean, all what you call it in Scrum, they were following. But imagine their daily Scrum event used to take 40 minutes for 21 people. I said, what value are you trying to achieve here? You are wasting 40 minutes multiplied by 21 people time you are spending daily. Can we have, I mean, obviously it was a big nut. It was a tough nut to crack. We had to reduce them into 2 Scrum teams. In fact, we recommended 3 Scrum teams under that, 666, 668, something like that we recommended, but they were a little reluctant. So we actually showed them that, okay, try it out for one sprint. Just try it out for 2 or 3 sprints or one sprint. Just split the team. Let's have separate events. Let us see the improvement around it, right? And they were convinced of it. So many times what you'll have to do is you'll have to nudge them. They will not listen to you in 1 time, 2 times. You'll have to constantly keep on nudging them. Finally, they will say that, okay, let's agree what the coach is telling. Let's try it out at least. And if the coach is if it doesn't work out, there's always a coach to blame, right? We can always put the blame back on Ashutosh's court, right? So, I mean, that's the feeling you have to give them. And then you have to, I think nudging is what you will have to do them constantly, I would say.
Okay, got it. Yeah. And yeah, thank you so much, Ashutosh. I have learned.
I mean, I would be happy if all of you come on a camera. I know it is a little tough in this pandemic. All of us are working from home, but definitely I love to interact with people, and I really appreciate Manoranjan. He always comes on cameras in my call. So Manoranjan is one person. Yeah, I mean, he always comes on camera, whatever may be the situation. So, I mean, he has been regularly attending, so I know him. So he's always on camera, and yeah, feel free to come on camera. I mean, yes, I mean, I think we all understand the psychological safety, but yeah, again, I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to force you. If it is fine, only then come. It's absolutely your choice. And yeah, I think we have a senior person, Balaji, also today. I mean, Balaji, thanks for attending this. I really appreciate you. So Balaji himself is a executive coach. So yeah. So,
Ashutosh, it's a great content. We really enjoyed it, actually. Thanks so much.
No worries. Yeah. So basically this session, I try to do it every Friday. Sometimes, of course, it doesn't materialize because if I have some meetings and all, with the, I think the work from office starting, I don't know how do we continue this as we move along. But this is an initiative I started in pandemic just to make Friday evenings a little more exciting, to coming out from that negativity around us, which was there, right, for the past 2 years. And hopefully we are out of it. Hopefully, I'm saying hopefully we are out of it till another variant comes and hits us. But definitely, yeah, very happy to see. And we have some new faces also today. So I'm really happy. And yeah, I mean, if you like this content, do watch my YouTube channel videos also. I'm sure there's learning around that also. So do watch those YouTube videos also, and do connect with me on LinkedIn. You can just search my name, Ashutosh Bhattodekar, and you'll find me. And you can connect with me. Yeah, I think, yeah, we are almost at the end of the time, and I have another call in another 15-20 minutes to attend. So that's why I'm a little rushing today, but definitely will be more than happy to connect with you one-on-one. If you have any questions, feel free to connect with me and have that conversation initiated. So once again, thanks everyone for joining on a Friday evening. I know there are a lot of good things to do on a Friday.
It was nice.
Yeah, there are a lot of interesting things to do on a Friday. So, but still you gave this time. And yes, for me, the value is all of you coming here. Okay. More than the money, it is the time what you spent with me, because you're spending 1 hour of your precious time with me. So really appreciate that. So that's the value which I've earned out of this session. So thanks a lot, and have a happy weekend, and stay healthy, stay safe. Bye for now.
Thank you, Ashutosh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.